A few months ago, I started using a website called StudyForces. It's basically a website where you can solve complex programming problems, and then when you do well in contests, you gain rating. I loved that idea. I always wanted more rating, which motivated me to study more to perform better in contests. Then I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if that same rating system with colorful ranks was everywhere else in my study system? I mean, why have it only for programming? Why not physics and math as well? After some research that lasted about 3 seconds, I realized that such a tool doesn't exist anywhere. Maybe 3 seconds of research weren't enough. I did what any programmer would do when they find a problem.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
I coded it myself. The app itself was great, but after showing it to some of my friends, they suggested they might need a tutorial because it's kinda hard to use. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you StudyForces. I didn't make a logo yet. So to download it, click on the link in the description and it should take you to my GitHub. Now you can just simply click on the APK and it will start downloading. Once it's done, just click on it and it will start installing. You might see something like this, just click more details and then click install without scanning. The reason you see this is because I didn't use my key store but instead just used the debug key store to build the app. That makes no sense, so let me explain it in simpler terms. A key store is kinda like a stamp. You can stamp a document to prove that it is authorized by you. That's why you should always keep your stamp safe. A key store is similar, but you use it to sign a mobile app, not a document. And Flutter, the framework I used to build this app, gives all developers a key store named the debug key store. And by default, any apps built will be signed with it. So since it's a stamp everyone uses, your phone is unable to tell whether it's the owner of the app who built the app or is it some other person. Since it can be anyone, everyone has that same key store. But for those of you who are cautious, this app is completely open source, so you can check the code and build the app locally instead. Now once you install the app, you'll be greeted with this page. You can click on the plus button to create a new subject. We'll give it a name, minimum and maximum rating, and also add our own ranks. You can customize the ranks however you want. For now I'll go with something simple. You can always edit it later if you ever wanted to. Now we'll have to set up our study sessions. We need to give it a unit name. We can call this minutes, hours, chapters, lectures. I'll call mine minutes. We specify the goal frequency. This is how often we have to achieve the minimum goal to maintain a streak and to not start losing rating. We then specify our minimum and maximum goal. A quick note here, I encourage you to set your maximum goal to be really high. Basically the amount that if you studied, you'd be a straight A student. And now lastly, the rating constant. This constant controls how slow you get a rating. The higher it is, the slower your rating changes are. For reference, here is the rating change formula. I'd recommend a value from 4 to 8. Now for problem solving sessions, we can disable that for now. And now we can add the subject. Now let's add another subject, but this time let's enable problem solving. So we'll call it physics. Everything will be the same except we'll disable study sessions and enable only problem solving. We'll set a frequency, minimum and maximum goals, and also our time goal. The time goal is the time it should take you to solve a problem. I'll set it to 5 minutes, set the constant, and create the new subject. Now let's say we've solved some physics problems. All I have to do is just swipe left, add all the information about my study session, and then click add. Right now, we'll see no changes because change only happens after we finish a cycle. And a cycle is basically the frequency that we set. So if we set it as 7 days, our rating will change every 7 days. You can also just edit it in case we made a mistake inputting it. It also works the same for studying, but this time we just have to swipe right and put the data about the study session and click add. If you can't wait and want to see whether you're doing well or not, you can look at your performance. This is also inspired by StudyForces. You can't actually see your performance in StudyForces, but some web extensions do. So I started as this one too. If you click on any subject, for example math, you can see my performance is currently 3600 since I set a very low max goal. And since my performance is higher than my rating, I will be gaining rating. Now to actually show you how gaining rating will look like, we'll create another subject. We'll call it reading, and obviously we'll only study sessions enabled. I always input what I've read in the past few days to really calculate my rating. And we can click the refresh button to check again, and now we have it. You can see that my rating was 188, but because I didn't continue my streak, it dropped to 179, and it will keep dropping until I resume my streak. You can also back up our data. Just click on Save to Device, give the file a name, and don't forget to keep the .json extension. And if you want to import it, just click on Import. We can import this backup I made while testing. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. Bye bye.